to do for you in this section of the film would be to recite something that I had written or someone else had written, but I haven't got anything like that. So I'm just going to talk as if I was reading something aloud. And here it goes. It's called If and Then. If it was a rainy day, and then I were to stay inside, would it be to the best of my advantage to colour a colouring book? If not, should I just sit around and look out the window? For if I do, I can see something that I don't see quite often, which would be the rain. It doesn't always rain, you know. You could look out the window practically every day and it would always look the same. But if I was to look out the window when it was raining, it would look just a little bit different now, wouldn't it? Some things would be wetter than others. Some things wouldn't be standing upright. Some things would be sagging over to the left and some over to the right. If this didn't make any sense, then what would the difference be if it was dry? Certain things would be the same. Always the same. What if there was no windows in my home? If I didn't have a window, what would I do to look out? Would I know what it looked like outside, though? Or would I just think I entered another section of my house when I walked out the door? You know, it could happen, though. If you are outside, you can get quite comfortable. Sitting underneath a tree thinking it's a chair. I sat in the mall once in a chair and it was underneath a tree. Does that mean I was in the same place when I sat in front of my house in front of a tree? Which felt like a chair? Maybe it was the same, maybe if it was different. But maybe it's the same thing, you know. But what is the same thing? Does it mean something that looks alike? Or was it something that sounds alike? Well, if they look alike, if you describe it aloud, it will sound alike. But you can always say one thing a little bit higher, and one thing a little bit lower. But say the same thing and it will sound different now, won't it? So is it still the same thing if you describe it and it sounds different? Oh, you are thinking now, aren't you? Well, I guess I am thinking too. We've got something in common. See, if I wasn't thinking, I wouldn't have anything to say because this isn't actually written down. But if it were written down, then I'd still be thinking. Because I've got to think of what I want to say. In what order I'd want to say it. So you might be saying, why don't you just turn this off for just a bunch of nonsense? What about when I talk about you? The person watching this. You're probably wondering, why is this on? Why you're wondering this is on is because you are so tense and inside and so uncaptivated with yourself that you just want to know everything. You can't accept things for what they are. You always have to know the answer. What is this? Why is it on? Are you that insecure that you just can't sit back and watch it? Or are you saying he doesn't know what he's talking about? Oh, I'd rather see something intelligent, not somebody telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about. But why shouldn't I do something where you don't know what you're talking about? Because I don't know myself what I'm talking about. I've got no points to stress. I've got no themes to get across. And I've got no story to tell. But maybe if I had a story to tell, you'd be less interested. Because you weren't there. But then again, I wasn't there either. Who was there, though? When President Lincoln was shot. I wasn't there. Was someone there that does know? Do you know something that shouldn't be known by everyone? Or do you not? Maybe you were even there when Lincoln was shot. Or was Lincoln not shot? Am I just lying to you and it just sounds right because that is a form of assassination? And you know he was assassinated. I've often thought about assassinating people. What's the point? I'm gonna have to see them eventually, ain't I? That depends on who you talk to, though. Some might argue that once you part this world, there is no other world. Some say once you go to another world, you don't know this world, but it's the same people. But haven't people told you that people make the world? Then why wouldn't it be the same if it's the same people? Well, I was just confused bluntly by that. When I get confused, I don't know if my brain cells are tied in knots, the blood doesn't rush to them, or just haven't got any that connect. I mean, that's what it sounds like. It would need to make sense now, doesn't it? But if you were to hear the bass of a drum pounding in your head and there was no one playing it, would you get up and take the sticks away from the drum set? Or would you just look for a drum set? Or what if you didn't even have a drum set? Would you go out and buy one so you could take the sticks away? Sticks were made from trees, you know. Would you go and cut all the trees down? Or would you stop it from raining so all the trees would die? But if it wasn't to rain, it wouldn't look different outside. Yeah, you know, you'd like it when it looks different. It's not the same. Remember, things are turning, things are tilting. Things are wet, some are dry. But that's not the same as if you were to go in a shower and get wet now, is it? Because a shower, the water runs down the drain and back into the lawn. This comes out of the lawn and back at the lawn. It may sound a little bit confusing, but if you think about it, it's not the same water now, is it? It might be made the same, might hit the earth the same, but it's actually different water, because it turns around the same. I guess you're probably wondering why I'm back at water, because I think you should look out the window and see if it's raining out.